Hello and welcome to MMA Crypt Fighting Talk. On today's show, I'll be speaking with UFC Bantamweight Bruce Leeroy Caceres. Alex is coming off a submission victory over Sergio Pettis at UFC on Fox 10. With that, welcome to the show, Alex.
How you doing, everybody? Good to be on.
Now, I want to start the show, Alex, with your 100k bonus of the night awards for UFC on Fox 10. In a post-fight interview with Ariel Helwani, you did say you want to invest in some land, basically plan for your future, etc. So does this mean you're not going to be spending any of the money right away, Alex, on a little treat for yourself?
No, I really don't have anything I necessarily want like that. I mean, that all together is a treat in itself. To be able to do that, to achieve that dream, would be something worthwhile spending my money on. So no, I haven't really been doing anything crazy.
Well, I've noticed on your Twitter, Alex, your fans have been calling for you to go on Joe Rogan's podcast because of your interview with Ariel Helwani, where you discuss solar energy and being conservative with energy in spending your of the night bonus awards. Have you been contacted by Joe Rogan yet to be a guest on his podcast show?
No, I haven't, but I am aware of all the Twitter posts.
Do you want to go on his show then, Alex?
I think it'll be interesting. You know, it'll be definitely be a cool thing to do. Definitely one of my pleasures to be on the show if he'll have me. But like I'm not the type of person to go and try and look for things and make them happen. I guess I don't know.
Moving on to your fight with Sergio Pettis, you seem to have a hard time of establishing your reach advantage against Sergio. Sergio just seemed to make up ground in like a split second and get inside your reach. Did his speed and movement impress you in the fight, Alex?
Oh yeah. He definitely felt like he knew what he was doing during the fight.
I noticed early on in the fight you came out establishing your jab. It seemed to be working for the first couple of minutes of the fight. Then he just seemed to slowly get inside your reach. Was using your jab, was that your game plan in round one?
Oh yeah, like I wanted to definitely establish my jab and establish my reach, but he definitely did a good job of getting inside my reach. He was parrying the jab a lot. He was parrying the jab really well a lot. So like my jab, I started to feel like it was becoming a little bit useless in the fight because it wasn't necessarily penetrating. So I decided maybe not the best thing to do, but I decided to like just get in his face and try and make it a scrap, as much of a scrap as possible.
Was Sergio one of the best strikers you've ever faced, Alex?
Definitely. I would have to say he definitely was. He's a very talented striker. I don't think I had trouble with anybody on the feet than what I had with Sergio in my MMA career. So definitely one of the tougher stand-up opponents that I had to face so far.
Well, keeping on round one, Sergio landed a couple of head kicks. It was hard to see if they landed flush or not. Did they land pretty clean on you, Alex, or was there more grazing kicks upon connection?
The first one was definitely like his toe hit me, and I believe his toe like cut my cheek and everything. So like it was a pretty decent kick. But, like I never felt in trouble or in a gray area or like underwater or anything. I was never like dazed by any of the kicks. It definitely hurt, you know. One of them definitely landed solid on my forehead, but I guess it hit a really hard bone because I mean it stung, but I didn't feel like I didn't feel my head get rattled about those kicks or anything. But I think about two of them landed pretty nice and solid.
Early on in the fight, Alex, Sergio looked like he wanted no part in taking the fight to the ground. Did that open you up a little bit more in your striking? Because you and Sergio, you just seemed to let loose, especially in round two. You was throwing spinning back fists and 360 spin kicks, etc.
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely helped me open up a lot because I know the fight's not going to the ground, so I didn't have to worry about opening up so much and getting taken down. You know, just getting a little bit too wild and just getting taken down on that fact. So it definitely helped out opening up because if anything, I felt that if I was better on the ground game, if anything. But he did do a good job of getting into the clinch game and then releasing and trying to throw the kick right off of the clinch game, which could have affected me quite dearly. But other than that, no, I felt really comfortable due to the fact that I knew he wasn't going to try and wrestle me as much.
Yeah, because you briefly got on top of Sergio, and Sergio scrambled back to his feet fairly quickly. He grabbed all your ankles and worked his way back to the feet. So that was telling me Sergio didn't want no part of the ground game that early on in the fight. But early in round 3, Sergio actually did take you down. Did this shock you after he spent the first 2 rounds striking with you mainly?
No, I was actually we were actually expecting it. Like we all know that Sergio was a good striker. But me and the people in the lab and my coaches in Miami and stuff, we were actually expecting it. We were, like even though Sergio was really good at timing and pinpointing his shots and whatnot, I knew that I do have really good accuracy for a reason, and I knew that I was going to touch him every time, the times I would throw. So I knew that he would get tired of getting hit. So we had this thing where we were saying, like, we're going to try and make him into a wrestler, just by outstriking him. And not necessarily outstriking him, but just getting in his face and being there the whole time and just annoying the hell out of him. So he just wants to get rid of you. But we kind of foresaw that happening, that after a while with striking with me, he was going to definitely try and take me down.
Well, I've also noticed it's starting to become a popular trend now to get the takedown early in round 3 and then late in round 3 to cement the round in a close fight like yours and Sergio's, because to me it was a round apiece on the judges' scorecards. Whoever took round 3 was going to win the fight. So it's sort of becoming a popular trend to get the takedown early in round 3, then late in round 3. Is that something you look out for in a fight now for yourself and something that your opponent might try, Alex?
I don't necessarily look for it. I really, honestly, I'm not really thinking that discipline during the fight. It's pretty hard to, I don't know, be thinking about that. Like, okay, I don't know. It's a little bit different for me, I guess. I guess just for people that are trying to win off the points. Like, oh, let me secure my points now, and then fight the fight and whatnot. I don't know. To me, it's a fight. I'm trying to win any which way and how. I'm always trying to look for the finish. So. Securing the takedown at the beginning of the round just to secure some points doesn't really make a difference for me. But if my opponent should do that, that's fine too. I don't say try and wrestle usually unless I'm being wrestled, and I've been getting a lot better at it. So I'm not really too concerned about that.
Well, funny enough, it was his attempted takedown late round 3 to try and seal the round for himself. It sort of backfired on him, as you managed to take his back and choke him into submission. Was you shocked he went for the heel hook so late in the fight, Alex, instead of just trying to, work his guard and keep you in his guard?
Well, I guess, I guess he must have felt like he was, I guess he must have felt that it was a very close fight, and I guess he felt like he had to finish, or the judges might score it the other way. I felt that I was definitely putting a lot more pressure on in the third round, so I guess I made him feel like he was losing, if anything, on the scorecards.
There was roughly about 30 seconds left in the fight. Now, I'm not too sure if Sergio knew this or you knew this. Was there any yelling from both corners that it was actually under 1 minute left in the fight, Alex?
Oh, yeah. I was totally aware that it was under a minute left during the fight. I believe that's what they were screaming out. You got under a minute. And I didn't know exactly how much time I had at the moment, but I know I didn't hear the 10-second marker, so I went for it. I'm always gonna go for it, always towards the end. I think those make for more dramatic finishes anyway, but no, I'm pretty sure Sergio must have knew. I don't know how he felt that he was on the scorecards. I don't know what his corners were telling him to try and go for the finish. But no, I wasn't necessarily surprised. I mean, I had my foot out there, pretty like dangling. I was kind of like in in a weird position. I had my foot over his shoulder and the other foot like next to his rib, so I guess the heel hook was there for him, and he just went for it.
Well, anyway, you mentioned it was a close fight, Alex. At the end of round 3, Sergio was up on the most significant strikes landed stats that comes up on our TV screens during the fight. Was you worried?
Oh yeah, but like I was actually looking at that. Oh,
actually, in the fight.
Funny. Yeah, well, I seen the fight, and I was actually looking at like how the numbers were scored that way. But it's funny, I've gone to the UFC website and like where they have the official website and the official like scorings and stuff.
Yeah.
They have like they actually have the real. I guess they have like the punches or strikes landed during the fight, and all the takedowns, reversals, submissions, passes, and whatnot. They have all those things, the attempts and the ones that landed. And when I'm actually looking at it, the official website, I actually scored a lot more significant strikes landed, about maybe in between 10 to 15.
It's really weird that they score these significant strikes because it's fairly questionable as well. You know, what you consider a significant strike.
That's true as well.
Is a jab a significant strike?
Yeah, well, like, it all depends how the jab is landing. I mean, if the jab is significantly doing damage, you know, I mean, you can throw a jab just to touch a guy. You can throw a jab, you know, to really bruise his eye out. I mean, it depends. But I guess during the live feed of the fight, you know, to really count and truly calculate all the strikes landed is quite difficult. You know, to give you the live feed of those calculations, because then you got like blocks that you didn't see happen. You have slips you didn't see happen. You have close encounters that didn't necessarily touch, but it looked like a significant strike just because of the way the person blocked it, right? During the fight, I could see why it would be very difficult to really count all those significant strikes and whatnot. But afterwards, I guess we'll have to replay the video, slow it down, replay the video, and actually count all the hits landed and what strikes landed. Then they get the actual calculations. I guess that's what they put on the real UFC website. You know, that's my assumption, at least.
Was you ever thinking at all, any part, like late in round 3, are you winning this fight? Are you losing this fight? Or was you thinking this is like a close fight? What was going through your mind in round 3 late on?
In round 3, definitely I was thinking this can go either way right now, and I definitely wasn't necessarily thinking about it a lot, but it was definitely in the back of my mind that I knew that this fight can go either way, so I definitely got to push the pace in this round if I want to steal this round or finish him, and I try to do either or.
Well, I have to actually say, Alex, you look good with your cardio coming into round 3, especially after having such a fast-paced fight like you did. Is Bantamweight going to be your home for some time to come? You know, because I always get a little bit worried when I see a fighter step onto the scales with the towel on first attempt.
I don't know. I want to see how the next fight in weight cut goes, definitely. Yeah. And I would have to make my decision there.
Is the weight cut going for you at Bantamweight, Alex? You know, is it something you're trying to get used to still, or you know, have you started figuring out your diet way in advance, etc.? You know, you're a lot bigger than Sergio heading into the fight. You look really good at the weigh-ins. Yeah,
it's definitely getting a lot harder. I think I'm just naturally growing in size. I mean, I'm not eating differently. I'm still on a vegan diet, basically, for the fights and whatnot. So I don't think it's what I'm eating, but I think I'm just naturally growing it a little bit bigger, and it's being a little bit harder to get down that low. I mean, this weight cut was pretty tough, but it could have been the way I was cutting or what I did or what I was doing during the weight cut, which could have affected me. But like I said, I want to try it out one more time and see how my body feels about it.
Well, the latest win against Sergio puts you unbeaten in 5 fights. That's the best of your career so far. Are you looking to jump right back in and keep momentum rolling, Alex?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely want to get it in as soon as possible.
Now, I just checked the rankings. You are indeed sitting pretty at number 15 now in the UFC Bantamweight rankings. Is there anyone in the top 15, Alex, that you fancy your chances against?
Like I said, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. Anybody that's above me I would welcome the challenge, you know. Anybody that's higher than me, preferably in the top 10, But whoever's next, the UFC's been doing a really good job of picking really exciting fights for me. So I'll leave it up to them, instead of calling anybody out. They've been doing a really good job keeping me entertained in fights, and as well as keeping you guys entertained for making these entertaining fights.
Well, there's a guy who I've really admired over the years, and he's got so much experience. He's been around the block, and that's Ivan Menjivar. That is a fight I would love to see.
Ivan Menjivar.
Yeah.
I actually know him.
You know him, yeah?
Yeah.
You close on a personal level like Alex?
Well, kind of, we used to, we trained together when we were training at TriStar. I mean, he trains at TriStar still, but when I was up in Canada, I remember training with Ivan Menjivar, Yves Jaboin, and all those guys over there.
He's so polite and so respectful, and he's, you wouldn't think he's a fighter the way he speaks. He's very humble.
No, he's very nice guy. Very nice guy, very good at judo too.
Okay, that's a wrap for today's show. Alex, anything you want to say to your fans before we leave?
Just like I always say, thank you for everybody for watching me fight and, being fans. I enjoy getting out there and entertaining you guys, so just keep watching.
To any listeners, be sure to check out MMACrypt.com and give us a follow on Twitter at MMA Crypt. From MMA Crypt Fighting Talk, thank you for watching.